Hi guys, it's me again. I just wanted to do a couple of things. Sorry, I keep moving the table. I wanted to talk about a couple of things with the food. I did give y'all my layout of what I did for last week. But what I also wanted to talk about is I'm going to provide y'all the list of the stuff from PIO, the PIO meal plan. Well, not meal plan, but it's to choose from, so you can switch some things up and give y'all options. If you can't afford salmon, which is not something that is readily available in a pretty cheap price, you can actually get some frozen salmon that's more affordable than anything else. But if you can't afford salmon and you're okay with fish or whatever, try tilapia. Tilapia is really good for you. Sometimes I tend to veer away from it because I really love my salmon. But you have other options that you can choose from if you want to. If your husband wants to, or your boyfriend, or whoever wants to cook steak, you can have steak as well. I have also had filet on one of my lists before, um, but it's got to be a filet and the thinnest piece, not thin, but the leanest piece that you can get your hands on. It tends to run pretty high. So if you want beef and that's where you're going with it, that's fine. You can still do that, but I don't suggest it in the 7-day challenge. I also want to encourage you to measure yourself before you start eating clean or you start on this journey. If you continue in this on throughout this week, you want to measure yourself before Monday. Um, why? Because you can weigh the same amount, but have lost inches. And I'm sure most of y'all have known that. Mark has actually gained a ton of muscle, but he weighs the same. He hasn't lost any actual weight, but I can tell that he's lost inches, plenty of inches. So it's very important that you, if you can't weigh yourself or whatever, you weigh yourself beforehand, and then you want to measure yourself too. So you want to measure your arms right in the middle, the inches around. You measure your waist. Your waist is the skinniest part of your stomach, which is right in the middle where we used to wear our clothes. You want to measure your thighs. You can measure the middle of your thigh. And then your hips as well, which is right around your butt, to go all the way around. Um, so make sure that you get your measurements in like that too, so you know where you're losing weight. Oh, in your chest. I go above my boob and below my boob because, you know, boobs kind of, anyway. So those are some options for you to do as well. I have a lot of egg beaters in there. I know it's not the most natural thing in the world, but it's something that helps me save a little money and do all that. I like to sub that in instead of the oatmeal because oatmeal is so filling for me. You can put a tiny bit of butter if you want because you are allowed to have some healthy fats in your eating. So do that as you please. I'm not a big fan of that, so I tend to do the egg whites and stuff like that. So Mark is home now. So doing a video. Anyway, so you can do those things like that. I do cut out some of my snacks sometimes because my lunch is kind of big, or I've already ran out of my allotted everything the day. But still in the learning phase too. Even more so of the 5 meals a day. That's totally new for me. Some days we're totally off because of when I wake up or when he gets home. I mean, this is the latest he's been home all week and I haven't had lunch. And I'm sure he hasn't either. So I waited because we didn't make him a pre-packed lunch yesterday. Anyway, so with that said, try different things. Bok choy is really good, and Brussels sprouts are really good with ginger, the little canned ginger. And I cook those with a little coconut oil. You have to be easy with the coconut oil. It is high in calories, but it's better for you than vegetable oil and things like that. Olive oil is good too. You can use olive oil if you please. I like the coconut oil flavor. I enjoy it too, so you can kind of play around with it. The seasonings we'll talk about. I want you to enjoy what you're eating and make it taste yummy, and it doesn't take a lot of fat to make it taste good either. So that's something else there. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Avocados. You want to eat the whole avocado, don't you? But you can't. You can't have that much, and you need to cut down on things like that too. Thank you. Also, you want to buy items in bulk. So if you're at the store and you're trying to save some money, and you find something kind of on sale or whatever that you enjoy, you might want to buy in bulk, because you can save more money that way too, if that's a concern for you. Fresh is always better, but if you can't get fresh all the time, like we're eating a lot of chicken, so we've kind of cut back on always eating fresh chicken to we have some frozen chicken. It's not the greatest thing, but you can always bake it, and it's fine that way. So there's just some options. Ground turkey is something I am huge on. I really enjoy eating, especially good with spinach to make a salad and stuff like that. Stay away from processed foods as much as you can, and try to do whole foods as much as possible, but it can be kind of costly, especially if you're feeding a big family. But remember that you're going to eat 2 to 3 hours, every 2 to 3 hours anyway, because it keeps your body from going into starvation mode. And the biggest thing that you can do during this whole thing is planning ahead, and make your snacks beforehand, your lunch beforehand. Don't eat out. Sometimes you can. I mean, it's okay. But don't overthink it. This shouldn't really be that hard. I make a list for the whole week, like I said, and I eat about the same thing that entire week. The proteins may change, or what I want for breakfast may change a little bit, but not more than that. But also remember, whenever you go to buy foods, if you can't afford the fresh and you go to the canned or whatever, you don't have to buy the labeled stuff. But when you do buy stuff, make sure it's the shortest list of ingredients on the back of it. And if it has any ose in it, sucralose, that's all sugar. So steer away from those too. I do eat the Kind bars, so a lot of the stuff that I've put in the challenge that I've already posted, I do eat Kind bars sometimes in the morning, and that's all I have, because cutting back or whatever, I'm lazy. Kind bars are good because they're nuts and fruits, and it's all natural. But just remember that if you have one of those, that cuts out one of your healthy fats for the day. You can't have any more nuts or oils. Well, in addition to that, to what you're allotted a day, and it takes away a fruit as well. So you can change some things around, and we'll talk about that too. I'm trying to get my scanner to scan the list of things that you can choose from, and we'll talk about, but it's not been working. So anyway, so I want you to have fun with this. Ask me questions. We're going to talk about it. Ask me about the labels. That's the stuff we need to understand, and we'll go from there. I also have homemade chicken noodle soup that I make that's really good too. Kids seem to love it, and it takes a little time to make, and it's really healthy too. So I can give y'all that. That is awesome as well. So we have options. I'll talk to y'all later.